This is the Scalper's Gold update for June 28th. I brought in on the left-hand side, the S&P future here, the ES, the daily chart, alongside on the right-hand side, the YM, the Dow future, to kind of show you what's going on here now. We're into June, we're into the summer, and you can see typically the best moves come in these markets when these markets almost look identical. And we've had that kind of pattern. You see they do look very, very similar in here until you get into the most recent trading. And you can see in the ES, here we had this market structure low pattern here that did trigger long in the ES. The ES is above this purple line here is its 200-day moving average. The green here is the 50-day. And here's the light blue line, here's the 13S. That's our bull-bear line, and it's trading above all those. But if we look at the YM here, the YM did not make this nice market structure low here. It has continued to make lower lows. Okay, it did finally, when the ES triggered when this market structure low triggered long here, the YM also followed, but did not have a market structure pattern similar to the YM, or similar to the ES. And here we see that the YM is trading below its 13S here, the light blue line, trading below its 200-day, this purple line. It is trading just now, it has come back above the 50-day, and this is the daily 5 period that it's below as well. So there's the structure, the market structure of these two markets is different. Now the ES is really the kind of the king. The other markets aren't going to go too far without the ES leading the way or agreeing. So the ES is in kind of a little stronger position here, though we did get a few closes below its 200-day. It did snap back above it. All those kind of major supports, it did come back and close above those, whereas the YM still trading below the 200-day in the daily time frame. So what does all that mean? Well, it means basically, I think that the summer kind of doldrums are in. We've got some volatility, but I don't think it's volatility that we're going to go anywhere too fast. We did get the Fed meeting out of the way, and I think the market didn't really get enough information, or the information that it wanted from the Fed. The Fed just kind of stood pat, and no real changes there. So, but we're going to have to see. Let's take a look at some of the little bigger time frames. Let me check the YM here, because our weekly earlier had triggered to the short side. And the scalpers went long here at that 78.92. Here we are around this 83.73 area. But you see we had that market structure high in here that did trigger the weekly short. We came down and we hit the support, the 13S, and that's where it bounced. And we'll have to see now, from the weekly standpoint, do we get a higher low this coming week, and then can that trigger to the long side and get back up to their test that, in this case, 89.70 would be the weekly 50 period, and then that 9200 area, 9500 maybe, kind of getting ahead of ourselves there, or if they continue and they test this 13S again and start breaking down, testing the 8,000 area. So those are kind of two scenarios. Right now we're kind of stuck between the 13S and the 50-day here. And then finally in the monthly time frame, again, our monthly, we had our V bottom, our market structure low bottom that did trigger long. The question is now, are we going to make any more progress? We've got some room up to the monthly 13S. Again, that's around that 9200 area. And once we get there, if we get there, do we then make this kind of market structure high, and then we get a short trigger, and we start testing, worst case scenario? Or do we kind of start basing this area, test the 13S, and then break up to the upside? We don't know yet. We're just going to react as the structure kind of sets up. We can see the MSA trend is still red, which means it's still a downtrend. We haven't gotten any yellow neutral trend yet, so got to keep an eye on that. So really not a whole lot of excitement in the market at this point. Like I said, we've got difference between the ES and the YM in the structure of their markets, and until those, pull that daily back up, until those start to get more in agreement, and I think we're going to be kind of maybe volatile but choppy, and so just be aware. And the rule for the summer is tight and light, and we'll see where things go based on the setups that come down the road here.